What's up, YouTube? This is Red Zone 101. As always, God bless and peace. Hopefully, everyone's doing well out there. Happy New Year. Um, hey, guys, there's a subject I want to talk about. Um, I'm going to try to make this video brief, but as you know, I can get long winded. So just sit back and, hey, just bear with me, okay? And the subject I want to talk about today is self defense and the elderly. Now, the reason I want to bring this subject up is this year I am going to be a senior citizen. I know I don't look it, okay? But yeah, that's reality. I am going to be a senior citizen. Uh, I'm getting into my 60s. Hey, look out. Anyway, guys, and I've been thinking about as you get older and you start to get older, I started thinking about self defense and senior citizens, self defense for the elderly. Now, the reason why this came up is I got to thinking as we get older, our bodies start changing. I've noticed mine started to change. Okay. There's a lot of things I could do when I was younger that um, I just can't do anymore, or I can't do as well. Okay. As you get older, you start losing a little bit of your upper body strength. And, and I just started thinking, okay, there may come a time when I am going to have to adapt to my new reality. Okay. Now, I want to talk about self defense, and for the most part, we're going to talk about firearms. Okay. And I'm going to throw in a couple of less lethals in there also. Okay. Now, there's going to come a time when a gun like this right here, it's a 9 mil, unloaded. This is a Canik TP9 Elite subcompact in 9 mil. Not really subcompact. The only thing that's subcompact is that handle. Okay, but other than that, it's considered a subcompact. But there's going to come a time when I may not be able to rack the slide of something like a 9 mil. Okay, there's going to come a time when I may not even be able to shoot a 9 mil effectively because I may not be able to handle the recoil. Okay, now as of now, can I still shoot a 9? Yes. But I've realized over the years that I don't enjoy shooting it as much as I used to. And maybe I'm getting a little recoil sensitive. I drive for a living, and I have noticed a little bit of carpal tunnel. Not debilitating, but still, I notice it's there. Okay? So there's going to come a time when a gun like this, I may not be able to handle. So I got to thinking, I need to start preparing for that time. Okay. Um, and I want to show you a couple of my firearms that I've bought and uh, that I've started to accumulate for that time that's coming up. And I want to show you a couple of firearms that might be right for you. Let's say you're getting older, you don't have the same hand strength that you used to, upper body strength, or else let's say you've had some kind of a illness or some kind of a misfortune where you've lost some of your upper body strength. Okay, so I want to show you a couple of guns that might be great for you. Okay, we're going to start off with handguns. Okay, now just about most people can handle a 9 mil, and a lot of people will tell you that if you can't handle a 9 mil, they kind of look down on you in the gun community because a 9 mil they say really isn't that doesn't really have that much recoil. Bottom line, people, you got to do what's best for you. And if it's getting to a point that you can't effectively shoot a 9 mil, it might be time to scale it down some, okay? Because the bottom line is you want to get hits on target, okay? And sometimes you got to kick pride to the curb, all right? So one of my favorite guns, and I think this might be a good one that people might want to consider, is getting a 380. Now, this right here is a SIG P238, okay? It's in 380. It's not loaded. Basically, it's a baby 1911. Okay, it works just like a 1911. It's single action only, meaning that you have to rack the slide back, and that is the only way you can pull the trigger, and it's in single action. If you if the hammer's down, is hammered fire, you cannot just pull the trigger. You have to either pull the hammer back or rack around in, and then you can pull the trigger. The way this gun is meant to be carried is cocked and locked. So basically you have a lock here, push the lock up there, and now the gun is safe to carry. It won't fire. When you're ready to, if you had to use it, push the safety down, and now you're ready to fire it. So this is a great option. Okay, and there's many great 380s out there. But remember this, the smaller the 380 you go, you're gonna have recoil, okay? This one, the recoil isn't too bad. It's all steel, it's got a little heft to it. But then again, for some of you, racking the slide, for someone that's got limited upper body strength, might be an issue. So let's move on, okay? Now, one of my favorite rounds, and I know people will debate this with me, but to me, a shot on target is better than a miss. This is one of my favorites here. This is a Smith & Wesson M&P 22 compact, okay? And again, it's unloaded. What I love about this gun is so easy to rack, and a 22 is so soft shooting. I mean, just about anybody can handle this. And even, like I said, racking it, I can rack it with 2 fingers. Very, very easy to rack. And 22s now, there's so many different great 22 options for ammo. You got CCI Stingers, CCI Velocitors, CCI the Mini Mags. You got the new Federal Punch. Great ammo. When I'm rocking this right here, normally I've got the CCI. Well, let's try that again. The Federal Punch in here, and I've got 10 rounds. Got a 10 round mag. Now the gun I just showed you, the 380, that's a 6 round magazine. That's a 10 round. 10 round mags, a 10 round mag of 22, especially 22 punch, is definitely going to get someone off of you in a home invasion. You start shooting rounds at them, 22s. I mean, most people, if you've noticed, when, and I've looked at a lot of videos, okay, of different, I mean, put that down. There's nothing in it. I've looked at many videos where there was a home invasion or someone trying to rob a convenience store, like what have you. As soon as the person that was the potential victim pulled out a gun, a lot of times the would-be attacker, criminal, what have you, would flee. Sometimes that's just enough. Just displaying that you have the means and the ability and the will to defend yourself can be just enough to make a would-be attacker to back off. 22 is a great option, okay, especially for those of you who may not have the hand strength. There's almost no recoil. Very, very soft shooting. Just a little bit above an air gun, okay? And again, you've got a 10 round mag here. So we're going to put that aside. I'm going to try to keep this running. Now, let's say that you want something a little bigger than that 22, let's say that size of a handgun there. Let me show you what I'm carrying today. Now this one is loaded. I'll drop the mag because I am carrying this. Okay, now, it's safe. This right here is a Beretta 92 FSR in 22. Again, this is a great option as a bedside gun. It's got that intimidation look. It's basically the same size as its 9mm brother. I mean, almost exactly the same dimension. And let me tell you, very soft shooting. To rack it, a little harder than the first one I just showed you, the Smith. And the only reason is because you've got that hammer there. But then again, you got an internal hammer like on the Smith. But you do have to, it's a little bit more, but for the most part, it's not bad. Nothing like that 9mm that I just had. And this right here has a 15 round mag. So if you want something with a little bit more mag capacity, 15 rounds, Federal Punch. This is a really good bedside gun. When I use the right ammo in my 22s, a lot of people will try to discourage you not to use a 22. But when I use the right ammo, meaning I've taken my 22s to the range and I've done some testing, and I find out which ammo functions in my gun the best. My 22s run just as well as my centerfires. When I'm using good quality ammo, I keep my 22s clean, and I buy a good 22 with a good track record of reliability. And this is a great gun right here. So we're going to keep it going, okay? Now that's what I'm carrying just for today. Let's say that you don't want a semi-auto. This right here, great option. It's unloaded. This is a Taurus 942 and 22 long rifle. It's a revolver. It has an 8-round cylinder, so you got 8 rounds of 22. Now, what's great about a revolver? First of all, the trigger pull isn't that hard. Now, it's got a long, hard trigger pull, but it's not. I can do it once. Okay, so unload it. Normally, I don't fire my 22s, but it's smooth. Even though it's long and it's a little heavier, it's a smooth pull, and you've got 8 rounds of 22 long rifle. Now, what's good about this gun is not recoil sensitive. Now, with your semi-autos, if you don't get a good grip, as we all know, you can get a jam. You have to have a firm grip when you're shooting your semi-autos. With revolver, you don't have that issue. And the great thing about this gun here, unlike the semi-autos, I can put 22 shorts in here, 22 long rifle. And I don't have to worry about it cycling. I just pull the trigger, keep pulling the trigger. I got 8 shots here. So that is another good option here. Okay? So let's keep going. Let's say you want something with a little more punch, okay? A little more punch than a 22, but let's say you can't quite handle a 380. Why not consider a 22 Magnum? Okay? This is a great pocket gun. Now, this gun right here, the Taurus, it's an ultralight, I think, yeah, ultralight. This is the ultralight, but it still has a little bit of heft to it. I think it's around, I'm not sure if it's 18 ounces or 20, I'm not exactly sure, but it's got a little heft to it, but not heavy. This right here, this is a Smith & Wesson Airweight. This is the 351 PD in 22 Magnum. So if you want to step up from a 22, but don't quite want to go up to a 380, that's still a little bit much for you, consider a 22 Magnum. This here has almost twice the power of a 22, and not taking anything away from a 22, because a hit is a hit. A miss is a miss, all right? Better get a hit with a 22 than a miss with a 45 or a 40 or 9 mil or even a 380. Better to get a hit with a 22 than a miss with those. But again, this right here cylinder holds 7 rounds of 22 Magnum. If nothing else, the sound alone is going to terrify someone. If someone comes into your house uninvited, breaking in, we're talking home invasion, okay? And you have to defend yourself. You got 7 shots of 22 Magnum. This gun weighs almost nothing. So let's say you don't have a lot of hand strength. This gun here is 11 ounces. I mean, when I say it's light as a feather, it's light. And again, very, very effective if you use good shot placement. And again, you got 7 rounds of 22 Magnum. So, I mean, again, would a 9 mil be a great gun to have for self-defense? Yes. But if you can't shoot it as well as you used to, it's time to put it down and move on and realize where you're at, okay? In other words, this is where I am in life. You got to be real with yourself, okay? As we get older, as I said, our bodies change. That's natural. I mean, it's just a natural process. Again, a lot of people look at getting older as a bad thing. I look at it like this. I'm still 6 feet above ground. That's a blessing. Okay, so again, if you want something a little bit more than 22, but not quite as strong as a 380, 22 Magnum might be a good choice. Okay? And there's almost nothing more simple than a revolver, except one. Let's say that you're on a budget, and those guns I've shown you, the Smith there goes for almost 700 to 800. The Taurus goes for about 4 something. all of my guns are above the $300 range. They're more in the 400 plus range. Let's say you're on a budget, okay? You know, you're living on with Social Security, your Social Security checks, your pension, so money's tight, but you want something to defend yourself. Heritage Rough Rider. Okay, it doesn't get more simple than this. And if you find a gun less expensive within this, I would be very leery. I'm not saying it can't happen, but this right here is a Heritage Rough Rider single shot. Okay, single action, meaning that you have to pull the hammer back every time to shoot it. Pull the hammer back, pull the trigger. And what's nice about this gun right here, it's one of the only revolvers that has a safety on it. Now, I don't use my safety, but for those of you that would like a safety, that's a nice option. And you've got a 6-round mag capacity, okay? Let me take that safety off. Very easy to use. You just pull the hammer back, pull the trigger. Very safe also, okay? Especially if you're using the safety. Not as easy to load as your double action revolvers. You got to pull up the loading gate here. You got to pull the hammer to half cock, and then you can rotate your cylinder to put your rounds in. Okay, and unloading it is the same way. Now you can't shoot it in half cock. You got to pull the hammer back, holding on to it, slowly lowering the hammer. And so you do have to be a little more careful like with this, okay? And that's why it might be a good idea that there's a safety. But these guns go for under $200. And these guns are very, very reliable. This here, I think that's a 5 or a 6-inch barrel. This would be a good bedside gun. To me, having a gun is better than no gun at all. So if you can't handle the recoil of some of your larger calibers, this is something to look at, especially if you're on a budget. Now, let's say that barrel's a little long. They also make a shorter version. They make a version, something like this, that's called the Heritage Boot and the Heritage Barkeep, okay? Both have very short barrels. Now, I modified my own. I cut my own barrels. I crown them, like what have you. Did a great job there. So, anyway, and what's nice about these Heritage Rough Riders, you can get them with, normally they come in 22 long rifle, but they also come in 22 long rifle, and you can buy one that has an extra cylinder for 22 Magnum. So now you have a choice of either using 22 or 22 Magnum. And again, these guns have almost no recoil. Very, very inexpensive, something you might want to check into. Now, I've changed the grips in mine and did a little, I've made mine a little prettier, as you can see. And that's because they're my gun. Okay, so we'll keep this going here. So those are some of the handguns that I want to show you. Now let me show you some of the rifles, okay? Because not everyone, as they get older, is able to effectively use an AR, okay? Or even, let's say, some of your lever guns or your higher capacity, like what have you. So again, 22 is not a bad option, especially when you're looking at something like this right here, pistol brace on it. This right here is a Ruger Charger with an ATI stock. In other words, I upgraded the stock, got a red dot on it, got me a forward grip here. This right here, and it's not loaded, just to show you. You can buy, it comes normally with a 15-round mag, but there's 10-round mags and 25-round mags. I like the 15-round mags better because the reliability, in my opinion, is better than the 25-round mags, and you got 5 more rounds than the 10-round mag. So I'm going to put this in, won't cock it. Now that right there is a very intimidating, small-looking package. And again, this is 22. So the recoil is almost zilch, but you've got 15 rounds of 22 punch or 22 stingers. Now the stingers, you got to be careful. They're a tad bit bigger than your regular 22. So you want to make sure that they're going to function and whichever semi-auto 22 you're going to use. But this right here is a great option for going and checking corners like in your house. And again, you got 15 rounds of 22 there. Now, most people, when they hear gunshots, they don't run towards the gunshots, they run away. And every video I've seen on YouTube and period, where let's say there was a home invasion or someone breaking into a, like what have you, where like the person had to defend themselves. As soon as they were able to shoot back at the person, okay, that was the end of it. Most times, people do not want to stay around for a gunfight, even if you're just using 22 and they know it. Nobody wants extra holes in them. We don't. I'm going to keep the ones I was born with. I don't want extra holes in me. So this is a great option. I'm telling you, people. All right. Now, again, that's a little, so let's say you still want a 22 and you want a rifle. Let me show you another option here. And I really love this gun right here. This right here is my HK MP5 in 22. Now this is a really sweet little gun. It's got a collapsible stock. Let me turn that. Collapsible stock. Really, really small package. It's got the fake suppressor, I guess you could say, but really, really nice gun here. This comes with 25 round mags. I'm not gonna, well, first of all, let me show you it's not loaded. It's not loaded. Love that HK slap. 25 round mags. And if you got 25 rounds of stingers in here, trust me, I don't feel underpowered with a 22. Especially if you've got good shot placement. And granted, you should always have good shot placement, but even if you miss your target, you start shooting at somebody that's breaking into your house to try to hurt you and your family, they're not going to want to stick around for a gunfight. But let me tell you something about criminals, okay? They want to go home at the end of the day. Unlike somebody that's defending their family, a good man that's defending his family, I mean, he'll put his life before his family. But someone that's just breaking in to try to get your TV, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, okay? Anyway, so this is a really good gun. Now, this gun is made by an air gun company called Umarex for like for HK. Well, let me tell you, the quality of this gun is excellent. Now, the only bad thing about this is the trigger. The trigger is really heavy. Now, I had to change my trigger springs because HK makes an upgrade kit. I think it took it down from about a 11 or 12 pound trigger pull to about 4 pounds. It's night and day. And this thing is a tag driver. I mean, it's very, very accurate. And if you look, that's a really intimidating look right there. So if someone was breaking into your house, this might be a good option. Like I said, if you're not able to handle the recoil of an AR or some of your higher caliber rifles, consider something like this, or even your Ruger 1022. That's what the Charger is. It's kind of a pistol version of a Ruger 1022. But this right here, great option. Now, to keep it moving, let's move to shotguns. Now, when you think about a shotgun, when most people think about a shotgun for home defense, they're either thinking about a pump or something like that right there. Boy, I tell you, Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies would be proud of this one here. Okay, this is a Koger Coach Gun Supreme 12 gauge. Got it set up there with my extra mag holder. Beautiful gun, nickel plated. Gotta tell you, somebody breaks into your house, someone might say this is only 2 shots, but 2 very dependable shots. Look at that profile, okay? Now this is what a lot of us old timers would, I mean, this is a great gun for home defense. This is what we would consider a great gun for home defense. Don't have to worry about racking it, what have you, or lever action or whatever. 2 shots, 2 triggers, boom, boom. Okay. Most of the time, if you did have to use this, after the first shot, 12 gauge, most people aren't sticking around for the second, okay? Well, let's say you can't handle the recoil of a 12 gauge anymore, okay? But you still want a shotgun. Even let's say a 20 gauge is too much, even a 16 gauge, which is kind of hard to find. Let me show you my choice. And this is one of my favorites here, okay? Make sure it's unloaded. There we go. Oh, and just on this, just to show you, I'm not sure if I showed you that, the 12 gauge was unloaded, okay? So now, again, something that's good for senior citizens, especially for home defense distances. You're not hunting with it, but you're defending your home. A 410 is a great option, and I love this one right here. This is a over and under 410 double barrel. Okay, I've got it set up here. Got my extra shells there. Very, very nice gun for home defense. And the recoil compared to a 12 is almost non-existent. This has only one trigger, so you pull the trigger once, pull the trigger twice, boom. You don't have to worry about like your double triggers. And buckshot and something like this right here at self-defense distances, you don't want to be standing in front of it. I know I wouldn't, okay? I mean, this is a really good option for someone with limited upper body strength, hand strength. Not really a heavy gun either. Really, really nice option here, okay? Trying to remember, this is a Stevens or a Savage. Hold on one second. I've had this gun for some time now. I forget at times. Put on the sexy specs, like I said, entering those senior years. Okay. Yeah, boy. Man, they make that writing small. Okay. Pretty sure this is a Stevens. Okay. Now, I did have the barrel cut. The barrel was a 24-inch barrel. I don't skeet shoot, so don't crucify me, okay? This gun I bought, I wanted a 410 for self-defense, an over and under with an 18.5-inch barrel, so I had to make my own. And I got this one at a great price. Took the barrel down to 18.5 inches. Had to redo my sight here, but really, really nice gun for self-defense. And again, almost no kick whatsoever. And I think I showed you, it's not loaded. So if you're looking for a shotgun, this might be a great option. And then again, they do make really nice 410s that are by Mossberg that are pump action. So if you want a couple more rounds, I feel very comfortable with 2 rounds and being able to reload if I had to. But normally after the first couple of shots, most people, like I said, your average criminal is not looking for a confrontation, okay? Your average criminal wants to get in and get out. He doesn't want a hard target. He sees that you have the ability and the mindset to defend yourself. A lot of times they don't want that. They're out of there. So anyway, those are a few of my firearm options. Last but not least, let me show you a couple of my, let's say you don't want a firearm, okay? You're somebody who's not comfortable with firearms. You don't want a firearm. Okay, I get it. Me, I've grown up with firearms. I don't have a problem with them. But if you're somebody who doesn't want a firearm, there are other options to defend yourself. One of the most common is something like this right here. This is pepper gel spray. Okay, it's not a spray, but it's pepper gel, I guess you could say. The gel is heavier, but this is still better than having to come at somebody hand to hand and try to defend yourself. Because as you get older, you know, younger people are going to have more stamina. They're going to be normally stronger. You know, you don't want to get into a tussle unless you have to, okay? This right here is going to give you a little bit of distance, and it's better than nothing, okay? So that's one of my options for something that's less lethal. And normally, I keep this in my pocket, you know, when I'm not able to carry the second one that I'm about to show you. Now, my second option, I like this right here. This right here is a Byrna HD launcher, okay? Basically, it's an air gun that fires a .68 caliber round. And you've got hard rounds like your kinetic rounds, that are made of hard plastic or nylon or what have you, but they also have pepper rounds that when you shoot the person in self-defense, technically the pepper round, it hits the person, it bursts, and pepper powder engulfs the person you're shooting at, or, and it burns their eyes, their skin, their lungs, they breathe it in. So again, this might be a good option here. It's not a firearm, so technically it's a less lethal. Now, anything can be lethal, okay? Even your pepper spray, if you shot somebody like in the mouth with it and they couldn't breathe or what have you. But this is going to be a lot less lethal than something like this right here, a firearm. So again, this shoots a .68 caliber projectile, really, really nice. This has a 5-round mag, and there's one of my pepper rounds in it. The first round I have in here is a kinetic round, okay? The second round is a pepper round. So I stagger my kinetic and my pepper rounds. Now, from what I've heard, you can't do that with all of them because people have had experiences where some of your pepper rounds have burst when you try to mix the two, pepper and kinetic. But I've never had that issue. But this, for someone who's looking for something that's not a firearm, now I've changed the color of mine. I've also added a 12-gram adapter. So mine basically uses a 12-gram CO2. There's no gunpowder. So that's what we use for the propellant. But again, great option for those that are looking for something that's not a firearm, but still want the option to be able to defend themselves, okay? Great option right here. So we're going to put that down. Now, another option is this right here. Now, this right here is my Umarex T4E HDR. This is a revolver. Now, this is also chambered, and I know it looks like the gun from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, okay? But trust me, this thing is not a toy. This is a modified one. I'm going to use the term joules because that's the way that the person I bought it from said. This has 30 joules, where this one right here, you might be talking around 12 or something like that joules. Well, that's energy, okay? This right here has a lot of power. This here, it's got a 5-round mag. What you do is you pull right here, and you pull that up. That's your mag, your cylinder. You put your 5 rounds. And this is also in .68 caliber, okay? So you can use the same projectiles in here as I use like in my Byrna. So you put that in there, put your rounds in, put that here. To operate this, it's a little different within your Byrna. Now your Byrna, what's nice about this right here, you got a selector here, safe, fire. Once you pull the trigger, that pierces the CO2, and if it's unsafe, it won't fire. But once you put it in fire, it will fire. And the great thing about it, if it is in fire, you pull the trigger, it pierces the CO2 and fires at the same time. So that's what's nice about this, the ease of use. And with good shot placement, I feel very comfortable with this, being able to defend myself against most self-defense encounters. Okay? Now, this right here, the revolver, this is a revolver, has a lot more power. It's a little bit different. Now, it does use a 12-gram CO2, just like the Byrna. But this right here, to activate it, you can't just pull the trigger, okay? You got to hit the bottom here, right here, hit it on either your palm or hit it on with something that's solid. And what's going to happen is right here, you've got an indicator. That's going to pop up red to let you know that the less lethal, the air gun is charged. Then you're able to use it. This has a lot of power. This is one of my most powerful air guns here. And again, you don't want to get hit. When you get hit with this once or twice, trust me, you don't want to get hit with this more than once or twice. You don't want to get hit with it, period. But this is a great option for, let's say, a bedside option to protect yourself. This is really good. Now, the downsides, because now this has been modified to have more power, is that I only really get one good mag with this. So you're talking about 5 shots. You got to make every one of those shots count. Hit somebody in the leg, the chest, and if they got on heavy clothing, the groin or above the neck, trust me, that's going to be the end of the fight because this has a lot of power. So anyway, that's one of my less lethals, okay? Now, if you want something that's really simple, this right here, my Umarex T4E HDS. This is a shotgun, believe it or not. Now, this right here, simple to use, but you've only got 2 shots. So it's going to be just like a regular shotgun. To open it, you're going to press here, and that opens it. You load your 2 rounds in. You can use just about any .68 caliber round that'll fit in here. It'll shoot. Very, very easy to shoot. Now this right here has 20 joules. It's an upgraded version, and this here hits hard. Now you've got a selector switch here. You push it to your left. It's going to fire the left barrel. Excuse me. Push it towards the right. Fires the right barrel. Push it in the middle. Fires both barrels. But the thing about if you fire both barrels, now this also uses a 12 gram CO2, okay? You fire both barrels, you're getting less CO2 going in each one because now the CO2 is being divided between 2 barrels, okay? But again, you're getting hit twice, so getting hit twice, that's still going to hurt. But if you're going to use a single barrel, switch it to the left, shoot, you're going to get more power out of that one barrel. Same thing if you do the right barrel. In the middle, both barrels. But again, very, very simple to use. And that right there has a really intimidating look. Okay? So if you're looking for something really simple, this just might be it. And very easy to maneuver, to operate. Like I said, I keep wanting to press this here to open it like a regular double barrel, but that's not the way this operates. Open it up down here, put your projectiles in, close it up. Tap it on the bottom, just like the revolver. You've got a indicator here that pierces your CO2, and now you're ready to fire. So that's a good option. But let's say you want something a little more intimidating, but you don't want a firearm. Let me show you my all-time fave. You guys have seen this. This right here. No, this is not a glorified paintball gun. Trust me, this has a lot more power than a paintball gun. You try to shoot paintballs through this right here, they'll probably break in the barrel. But then again, it is, I guess you could say, an upgraded one, okay? But this is the Byrna Mission 4, okay? Basically, it's on an AR platform. This is a great option for home defense. I mean, you've got 2 20-round mags there, okay? Now this uses, right here, this is a 88 gram CO2, uses an 88 gram CO2. What I have here, let me undo that, is a 90 gram CO2 that's compatible with any air gun that uses an 88 gram CO2. And the way that I rock this is I keep it partially screwed in, okay? Just enough so that it's snug, but it doesn't pierce. So if I did have to use it, I twist it, and this uses also a .68 caliber projectile. Now you notice a trend here. Most of my less lethals use a .68 caliber projectile. So this way, you know, I just buy one type of ammo. It'll work in all of my air guns, like for the most part. But again, I keep it partially in there, so if I did need to use it, I can twist it real quick. And I've done a video to show how fast this can be set up. I take the air charging handle here, push it to on, rack the slide like a regular AR here, rack the slide, and now I'm ready to rock. And I've got 2 20-round mags of either hard kinetic projectiles or the pepper rounds. This here hits really hard, and again, very, very, I mean, this is my favorite, okay, out of all of them, okay. If I could carry this, I would, okay, but I can't. It's a little big. It would be legal to carry it, I guess, but no. This is something primarily for the home. But again, for someone with limited upper body strength, or hand strength or what have you, and doesn't want a regular firearm but still wants to be able to protect themselves, this right here is a really good option. Now normally this comes with a with another cover for your CO2 that's going to be like a well, anyway, I put this on myself. I made this myself, this sleeve for it, because it's more comfortable to shoot. So there, okay. But again, this is a great option here. I actually made a little rail for it here. I got my red dot, got it set up. But if I didn't use my red dot, it comes with flip-up sights, which are really, really nice. Okay, let me show you. And shoot, this one right here. So you don't have to have a red dot for it. It comes with sights. But this is a great option, okay? Got a high magazine with capacity. And now these are not cheap, okay? We're talking about almost $1,000. I know some of you might go, that's really high. I thank God my wife bought this for me. She got it on sale. The sale price was hundreds and hundreds of dollars less than the regular price. And like I said, if you're looking for something less lethal, this is a great option here. Okay, I'm going to put that down. You stay there. Okay. Guys, hopefully this video was helpful. Like I said, my main reason for doing this video is I am now entering my senior years. And I start thinking about there's going to come a time when I won't be able to shoot the higher calibers. So I have to start preparing now and have certain things in place so when that time comes, I'm ready for it. Okay? Now, hopefully, that's going to be many years down the line. But like I said, I've already noticed a couple of things because, like I said, you get older, your body does start to change. I mean, that's just a reality. Okay? And sometimes, like I said, you got to kick pride to the curb and say, you know what? I can't handle the recoil of this the way that I used to. So it's better to get something that you can handle very well than something you're struggling just to get on target with, or something that because you know you don't have the body strength you used to, it's like you're afraid to shoot it. Okay? That's where some of the options that I've shown you can be very beneficial. Okay? So anyway, guys, hopefully this video was helpful. Again, Happy New Year. Hopefully this year is going to be a better year than last year. Last year was rough. But bottom line, we made it to see this year, and that's what counts. Hey guys, I want to thank you for watching. As always, God bless. Watch your six, and peace whenever possible. Take care, people.